What's going on, y'all? It's Sam from Central Florida Abundance, and I'm out here today in Lakeland at a residential property where I've been working with the homeowners to help build this food forest garden over the past 2 years now. And I think it's finally at a point where it's worth showing off. It looks like something cool. I did post a video about this on my Instagram about a year ago. If you want to go find that and see what it used to look like. But this whole yard, it was just grass between these two mature oaks and another mature oak in the back. But it just felt like the perfect place to create a forest garden. And I'm going to use this as an example for how I really like to go about creating these perennial food forest gardens. And the key is to take it step by step. In this area, it just started with this one bed. The two moringa trees, there's a grimichama in there, some cranberry hibiscus, and then we planted sweet potato. And the sweet potato has made its own bed. There was definitely grass under here, and it's done pretty good at just smothering it out. Also, lots of sweet potatoes have been harvested from this. I think after that bed, we did a couple more in the back. This bed was one of the first. This guava here, which is producing pretty heavy now. So heavy, some of the branches are broken. It's gonna get pruned today. But there's also some holy basil underneath it. This plant's been here for 2 years, which, you know, it's starting to look leggy. It needs to be pruned, but still producing. Got a lot of leaves on there. I think they do use them. And then in this same bed at the same time, we planted a blueberry, and it's actually looking really good down here in the shade. It went through some neglect the first year after it was planted, but it's coming back now. It's been growing real well. Another moringa in this bed. I think this chaya has been here for about a year, and wow, what just such a nice hedge. So we started really just incorporating small beds all around the front yard. This was just a small one. There's a Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan, I think Lanceleaf coreopsis with some katuk. Just little things. As they acquired plants, we planted them around in places that made sense. And then they started to get some mulch from their local tree companies for free. All that and a lot more in the back as well, and they've started spreading it throughout the garden, which is helping suppress a lot of the grass that, you know, would be coming up in between the beds. This is just an awesome area that has planted itself over here. We started it with this one lemongrass, which did not get cut for about a year and a half, went to seed, and the seeds have spread. These are all lemongrass clumps, pretty well established at this point. I'd say they've been here for about a year, and now I'm starting to find lemongrass popping up everywhere, which in some places that's not a problem, and it's easy to control. But we definitely won't let it go to seed again. But all that lemongrass is gonna make wonderful biomass. Also mixed in over here, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize there's a miracle berry. It's not the happiest, but this has been here. This is probably one of the first plants to go in, which I would never recommend planting your high value plants first, because the first succession is gonna struggle, especially when we're doing these forest species. But it's got some fruit on there. If you don't know about Miracleberry, look it up. But they're highly coveted, so I'm not gonna snack on any of these. I'm gonna have to let the homeowners know. But over time, we've been mixing in cuttings, throwing in seeds where we can. There's a chaya cutting from a different chaya on the other side of the yard. Beauty berries are getting mixed in. This is the newest bed. I think it was just done a month ago. And there's mangoes are the main that loquat there has been here for some time, but they've got pigeon peas starting to sprout up in this bed, and then cassava cuttings that have gone in, and there needs to be more in between here. We'll probably get some Fakahatchee grass mixed in between the trees, so then we have some more coverage. See, we already have grass starting to pop up through the mulch. I'll throw more mulch on there for now, but in the end we're gonna have to get some plants in there to keep the other grasses down. Magnolia, lots of natives mixed out here. Edibles, natives, support plants. We've got these Mexican sunflowers here, and strangely enough, these Mexican sunflowers, they're not flowering right now because I've been cutting them back, but they did go to seed, and it turns out their seeds were not sterile. I'll show you. It's not attached to a cutting. That was a seed that germinated on this Mexican sunflower. So that's something to watch out for. Again, not so bad when it's in a good place, but if these plants are reseeding, there's another one popping up. Definitely a high potential for invasiveness. So let's keep our Mexican sunflowers managed. These have been getting cut every month and a half for the past year, and so they stay pretty stout. I'll probably be cutting them again today. But everything's looking real good. Walter's viburnum, the Katuk managed to just reseed itself all over this bed, which is wonderful because it's just providing some, food for the homeowners, support in the soil for this macadamia nut, which is really the highlight of this bed, which is struggling right now, it looks like. Woo. Gotta give it some attention. We're gonna wash it down, get everything off there just with water. We'll use a hose, get anything that's living on there off, and then we'll probably apply some vermicast extract just to inoculate some beneficial microbes on the leaves after they've been rinsed. And that'll help it fight off what's afflicting it on its own. This is a food forest garden, and so the main concept out here is we're planting plants that are well adapted to these conditions. They're going to thrive without much attention, and they do require maintenance. This is more maintenance than it would take just to mow this area if it was still a lawn. But that little bit of extra work you have to put in provides a lot of abundance. I'd say it's worth it. And since I'm out here doing the maintenance today and I'm not even eating, if I can say that, then it must be good. Another great native over here, a fire bush, just popping off with berries. That's a huge food source for the birds. Probably some native insects too. I even read that you can make wine from these berries. I haven't checked it out myself yet, but in Amanda Pike's book, Transforming Florida Yards, there is a recipe. I encourage you to look it up. Somebody make some and send me a bottle. Check out this strawberry tree. Very fast growing. It was planted here to kind of be the centerpiece, provide some quick shade for the garden, and it is really doing that stunningly. It has been pruned to branch out a little bit. We pruned it at the top about 6 months ago, and it is just as full as ever and full of berries too. I think I will take one of these. If you've never had a strawberry tree fruit, tastes like cotton candy and probably one of the most abundant fruits you could eat or you could grow. This tree will fruit for about 8 months out of the year here in Central Florida. Great if you have kids. Now we're right over here in the center of the sweet potatoes, because I want to show off what really helped this food forest thrive in the beginning. So they have a full irrigation system set up on a timer, and that allows them to, not have to worry about this as much. And this is infrastructure that's important in the beginning. It's going to help your trees establish. We go through long dry spells here in Florida, and so having some supplemental irrigation in those times is really important. They focused on getting that irrigation in early. All the beds that they've incorporated around the yard are hooked into an irrigation line that runs along the edge, and then pipes will come in. And so by doing that, that initial investment in infrastructure has saved them tons of time and headache being out here from April to July trying to keep all these trees watered. And now we're at a point where things have established very well, and we can actually take this off. We're going to turn this off for now. We're in the rainy season, so this will be a device that we'll only really need to use during those long dry spells we do get in the spring. So that's going to save them some water, and it's going to help some of these trees that are getting a little too wet. I think this mango over here would appreciate a little drier soils. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this little food forest garden tour. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button. But really, if you would like something in this yard, please reach out. You can send me a message, and I'll show you how we can start small, keep it manageable, and work towards a more productive system than just a grass lawn in your front yard. Thanks for watching.